Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're exclusively live on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, Monday to Friday at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Peter Martin, Tam McManus, Charlie Adam and Alan Ruff with me here in the studio. You can join us weekdays if you hit the subscribe button, join the football family. You can hit the bell as well and you'll get those notifications on when we're live. Football every day. We'll hear from managers and players. We'll also give you opinion, wee bit of banter, and we'd love to hear from you as well. Give us your thoughts on your favourite team, anything that's bugging you in Scottish football, or indeed if you've got something positive to say. We'll also try and read out as many names as we possibly can. So with that in mind, great to have you all with us, great to have you all consistently with us, although some people obviously won't be with us on a regular basis, Charlie, because basically there's a cold weather front coming in and they'll probably be taking a few days off every now and then, Ruffy.
Well, every time I see him he just comes in shorts and socks, the weather's...
Well, Friday's tennis day, so I'm playing tennis, and the sun is still out, so I mean...
Yeah, and of course, Ruffy, you like a golf course, and so does Tam. Big golf course for you tomorrow, Tam. I mean, you're definitely going to rip it up, aren't you?
Yep, Trump Aberdeen tomorrow, looking forward to it. I heard it's a great course, but it looks very, very tough. If it's windy, I'll be
I'd love to be up there when it's windy with you. We did the first hole. Tam, this is the fifth.
I am a bit wayward after tea, Ruffy knows.
Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it, aye. We night out in Aberdeen tomorrow night and all.
Oh, that's mine.
Glassy on the phone?
Get Glassy out for a pint.
Is he going out with you?
No, unfortunately, they're going down to, they play Wraith on Sunday, so they're going down straight out after training Saturday, so I'm not seeing them.
Yep, that's fair. Listen, we've got lots to talk about because obviously European action. Celtic managed to dispatch 3 past Jablonec. No problems for them in the end, Ruffy. They were composed. The football, I was there, I watched it, they were good throughout the game, and of course all the fans in there who absolutely revelled in it.
Yeah, I think we've all been to nights at the big clubs, and it is, if you're a supporter, it's the nights you want to be at. That's why it's so important that our big clubs get to these big tournaments, because sometimes, well, not at this precise moment, but the players on show that you don't get a chance to see are generally in their teams when you get against the bigger sides. But the job was done in the first leg. You've got to say that there would have been a lot of confidence last night. I'm pleased for the boy Turnbull. I really like him. You know, I think he's going to be a mainstay for a wee while to come. But no, it was a good result. And Joe Hart had a couple of saves.
Yeah, I've never witnessed anything like it in my life, Ruffy. Joe Hart made 2 good saves. Not worldies, but good saves. And the whole place went completely and utterly crazy. I've never witnessed anything like it. It was 2 saves and wow, the whole place got, it was as if it was a goal. Well,
it just shows you where they've been, you know, what they've been watching, you know, and it must have been torture, you know, when you think your team's playing reasonably well and then a goalkeeper throws a couple on the back of the net. So that's what they've been striving for. I still think they've got improvements in the centre-half position to go with, but middle to front, you know, on their game, they're as good as anybody.
Yeah, and Charlie, I have to pick up on the point that you made when you played against Celtic last week. Boy, I think he's going to score 20 or more goals. Furuhashi is a handful. His runs off the shoulder of the last defender were unbelievable. His movement, his energy, he never missed a trick in the game of trying to track back, close people down, but his movement in the front line was amazing.
I don't think we've seen somebody like that for a long time in Scotland. Honestly, the movement, the quality of his runs and the timing of the runs is that, you know, Morelos is different. You know, he's a proper number 9. Edward doesn't want to really run in behind. He'll come to feet. Morelos is strong. He backs in and he does brilliant. You know, but Furuhashi will do the both sides of the game for you as well. And he's good at coming linking, but also wants to run in behind. And he will score. He'll score a few goals, and you know, he's, let's say, he's given the place a lift. Joe Hart's obviously given them a lift as well with their 2 saves, and like Ruffy said, they've been in a tough place with the goalkeeper recently, so to have somebody like that at the back, but I couldn't believe it. They've been at the stadium for 14, 15 months, and what's the guy thinking about coming on the pitch for? What does he do that for?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like...
there was a couple of things that annoyed me about the game, certainly the conduct and some of the songs from the Green Brigade. I think leave a lot to be desired, to be honest with you, and I think it tarnishes the name of the club. The guy running onto the pitch has just got himself either a lifetime ban or 10 years you'll never be inside Celtic Stadium again. And the other thing which I think, you know, that irked the decent fans who come to the game, Tam, is the banner that they unfolded was basically saying to Celtic, well, with 16 or 18 months, we've given you a lot of money for streaming that at times they weren't happy with, but we've still given you a lot of money, and you've asked a number of us not to hand any money back because of restrictions and our inability to get true value for money, and yet it's £19 to get in last night, and it's 19 to get into Alkmaar as well.
Yeah, listen, I think that the clubs have got to give a bit of a give and take with supporters. Listen, they've not been in the stadium for a long time. They've paid a lot of money. They've shelled out money to watch streams. Some of the streams maybe not a great quality of stream. So I think the clubs are entitled, I think, to give a wee bit back and maybe give a game for free or a couple of games for free, off the season tickets or whatever. So, it just seems to me that something like that would bring the club and the fans together, and I think that's what they need. They need to come together.
I know it's not on the same scale as Celtic, but St Johnstone, last night, it was in the season book, so they allowed it to happen for free, I think, was it? Am I right here? That the game was free anyway for the season ticket holders?
Yeah,
so that little bit will then, how many people now will think about, they looked after us at that time, they'll go back. So listen, I'm not saying it should have been £19, they might have made it for a tenner or whatever and made it a little bit cheaper for them to get back in, but the decision's made, and listen, Celtic were always going to dominate after that first result, and they're in a good form, they're bright, and they just got to try and keep the run going. Alkmaar will be a different opposition.
I think they know people will pay it. They know they'll get the people that will pay it.
Oh, listen, everybody.
I'm not. They'll get people that will going to pay it. They've not been in the crowd.
Yeah.
For a while, not been in Parkhead, so it's.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the other great thing about it, and I'm going to mention this only due to the fact that I think, we pride ourselves on this programme of being a football show that talks about the football as well. If there are things that we need to comment on that are off the park, you've mentioned the guy running onto the pitch, which was just stupid. But what I won't do is get involved in people who just basically want to try and defend some of the songs which are of a political nature, which don't belong in football. It's a football team. You come to support your team. So I'm not going to go down that road with anybody who's posting all the lunacy that sometimes goes on. I can see it coming up on our feed here. Basically, I think, the 95% of the Celtic fans go there to support their team and sing songs which are about football, because that's what it is, a football club. It's not a political platform. If you feel that strongly about it, apply to the council and you can go and march on it. But as far as the football on the park and people coming to see the team, which is what most families like to do, Ruffy, I think a lot of Celtic fans will be happy, considering what was going on 2 or 3 weeks ago. I certainly looked at them, I was impressed with them, and I think there's still 2 or 3 bits of the jigsaw that are still missing though.
Yeah, I think the manager said that, and I read a piece this morning that he is actively behind the scenes. He would just like to reassure everybody that he is identifying the player he wants to bring to the club that's going to be a first team player, no sitting on the bench. So the fans have to go with that. They have to believe that there are players going to be coming in the weeks ahead. I'm sure he would like a couple in before the game next week, whether they get thrown in right away, depending on the calibre of who it is that's coming in. But certainly, the way the Celtic play the game, and Charlie saw it last week, when they play at that pace, in the passing, the crisp passing, and they can get through the 18-yard in one area up to the other end in 2 seconds. That's how good they are when they're on their game. And when they're no sort of nervous and anxious, but when they're on their game, they must be difficult to play against. Yeah,
the other key element here for most of the Celtic fans is, other players that they want to get signed before AZ Alkmaar, because I think that'll be a step up in quality again. And with that in mind, I think Ange Postecoglou was quick to point out when I asked him last night about players that he wants to get new faces in.
Well, we'll certainly try. Yeah, I would like it. Yeah, that's the honest answer. But what I like and what can happen, the reality of that is a little bit different. But we're working awfully hard. I guarantee you that not a moment goes past and off the field, the whole club is working hard to make these things happen. Part of the issue is probably mine, that I'm a little bit selective about the kind of players we get in, but I'm certainly pushing to get some bodies in before the next game.
Well, I think, since we've been back for the start of the new season, Tam, I think I've mentioned about 32 right backs that Celtic have been linked with, and every day you read about, you think, well, it's just not going to happen. This guy's all speculation. Sometimes I think, they just go in and throw a dart at a picture of the players that are available. The last one was Brazilian right back Jan Couto was in the stand as a guest from Man City, so maybe he is going to be the other one to try and put a bit of competition, Anthony Ralston's way, although Ralston still continues to battle away, the boy, knowing he's under pressure.
Yeah, I think if Celtic bring in a right back, and I think they will definitely, in a centre half, I think that guys like Welsh and Ralston will probably find themselves out the team. But what they have done in this little spell is they've shown what they can do. They've shown that they can play at Premier League level, and it might be they either stay around Celtic as a squad player, or they go and loan to another Premier League team, or go down south. So they've not done themselves any harm. But I think that Celtic definitely need to strengthen. I think they need to bring in an international quality right back, and probably the same again as a centre half, and possibly.
Striker.
Probably a striker as well.
The thing about the manager is that he's not fair to say that we're no hurry, we're not quick enough in the market. I think there's a bit of the Celtic fans can relate to that a little bit now, and he's coming out and saying what they're all thinking. He's not happy with the board at times and saying, listen, we need more players, we need it quick, and that was the worry in that from pre-season really when we were on the show talking about it. Celtic were taking their time, and he's like, no, we need players in, and we need players in before the next game, because if we don't, they'll level up and it can cost them.
Yeah, well, that's next week. Give us your thoughts on how you think that match is going to go and who you were impressed with. I thought Furuhashi. I think Furuhashi will easily score 20 goals plus. And of course, he's got in the midfield David Turnbull, who just seems to get better and better, Ruffy.
Yeah, I thought during the Euros we should have maybe taken a chance on him in maybe one of the games. I like the way he gets round about the 18-yard line. Strikers are looking for a pass, but he's not interested in a pass, he's interested in having a goal. And he's interested in having a shot, whether it's 20 yards, 22 yards, might hit the target, might not, but he's got the confidence. And I think he'll score a lot of goals as well.
You can see a pass as well, that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, the first goal last week was a pass, that he put in the boy wide area. So, yeah, and he's good at that.
No, he's a good player. It's the first time I've seen him up close, obviously playing against him, but, watching him, he's different from what they had before, and he's a good player.
Yeah, I had my fingers crossed. I was constantly, while the game was going, if there was a little lull, I quickly got on the phone just to see how St Johnstone were going, Ruffy. It looked as if at 1-1 I thought, just another wee goal for St Johnstone, but it just wasn't to be, because suddenly the quality of Galatasaray was there for all to see.
Well, the quality was in the second goal when the boy flicked it to him. I don't know how he did that. I don't know. It was just a bit of quality. There's not many players would try something like that, but he had the confidence that he knew he was going to make it the pass to the boy, and the boy took it well. But no, in certain bits, they showed the quality when they needed to, and I think they got the goals at the right time as well. Yeah,
I think the manager, Callum Davison, nothing to be ashamed of with the what his players produced on the night.
Well, I think you asked me 2 years of football and you're all scared with Galatasaray. Obviously at that point I couldn't be happier. I thought the lads performed unbelievably well. Went a goal down. Probably could do a bit better, but went a goal down, we reacted really well. I think you saw there at the end, the boys never give up. I can't ask for more than that. Playing against a team probably a couple of weeks ago, try to qualify for the Champions League. A team like St Johnstone can take them that far into the tie.
Yeah, I think they deserve great credit. Nothing to be ashamed of, Tom.
No, absolutely. I think they can hold their heads up high. Obviously, I never seen much of the game. I was working for Hibs, but like one each, I was like you, checking the scores, and I thought, by the way, if they can get another goal, they can maybe cause a massive upset. But watched the highlights last night, as Ruffy said, they scored a couple of really good goals, and they've got quality. Multi-million pound players in their team that has played at the top clubs in Europe. So it was always going to be a big ask for St Johnstone, but they drop into the Conference League now. And still, they've got a second chance to try and get into the group stages of Europe. Yep,
Lask standing in their way, so let's keep our fingers crossed that St Johnstone can come up trumps in that tie. Of course, you mentioned Hibs. I did have a fear, Tam, I'm sorry to say, I did mention it to you. I thought Hibs were going to go out. And so it proved to be. The first half, the first leg, they should have done them. The second leg, I mean, Darren McGregor's just, I don't think he's come out of a darkened room.
No, it would have been a long journey home for Darren McGregor last night. I think it showed in European football that you've got to be clinical in both boxes, and you've got to be concentrated. You can't afford any big mistakes. And when it went to 1 each last night, I genuinely expected Hibs to go and win the game. They were the stronger team, they had the momentum. I thought they bottled it a wee bit. They were hitting the ball at the pitch, and Hibs were on top of them. And then Darren McGregor, it's just a total moment of madness. The goalkeeper rolls the ball out to him. He's just got to turn out and hit it up the pitch. He would do that 99 times out of 100. He takes a poor touch, tries to go back to the keeper. Boy nicks it and he just pulls him back. He'd already been booked. And then 30 seconds later, they lose. We've seen the goal earlier, the goal that Hibs lost for the corner kick. It is under 13 stuff. It's a guy getting across somebody at the near post and flicking it in. So soon as it goes to 10 men, 2-1 down, game's a bogey, and a couple of late goals, but 5-2, it was never a 5-2 in aggregate game. You were at the first leg as well.
Yeah.
But Hibs they weren't ruthless enough.
No, and of course, you know, if ever you realise the writing's on the wall, it's when your manager, Jack Ross, admits they definitely need a centre-back.
To be fair, I've wanted one for a long time now, because for this reason, because you only carry 3 in the squad. Then it limits you, and these things can happen. Obviously, Paul's injury is unfortunate. It doesn't accelerate it. Maybe just highlights the need for it more than anything else. But it's certainly not changed my thinking that I've had for a long time on it, to ensure that we have that cover in those areas, or cover competition in those areas as well.
Well, it's difficult to get the right type of player, and as Jack said there, he's been looking for a long time.
Centre back, it's like discussing it. Centre backs and strikers, they're very hard to come by, and when your manager comes and says that they need that, then every club knows now they're going to have to pay a little bit of a premium, or wages, or transfer fee if they're going to have to buy anybody. So it's it's tough, but I think it's a blow for Hibs that getting put out. At least St Johnstone got another opportunity to go again, but Hibs to get knocked out after what they've done last season, I'll be disappointed with that, but they have to bounce back quickly. Yeah,
and if anything, and again, I have no bee in my bonnet about Kevin Nisbet, Tam, but if anything, it highlights the fact that we know what level Scottish football's at. Players have to step up to the plate to kill the opposition. Crying out for Ryan Kent to do it, couldn't do it against Malmo. Crying out for Nisbet in the first leg to take those 2 chances and be clinical, didn't do it. Even Celtic came a cropper against Michelin because they didn't have players at the top of their game who were able to kill the opposition when you get that one chance.
It's a step up in levels. It's levels, and if you're the higher level you step up, the better you've got, the more clinical you've got to be in terms of a striker. In terms of finishing, and a defender, you've got to be on your guard. You've got to be concentrated fully for 95 minutes. Because Darren McGregor switched off for a split second last night, and all of a sudden the tie's gone. Yeah. So that's what happens at that level when you step up, and unfortunately, Hibs couldn't get it done. But I still think if they can get a centre half and a striker in, they can go and have a really good season. Yeah,
I can't disagree with him, Ruffy, because I've seen Hibs a couple of times this season, and the football he's getting them to play is good to watch.
Yeah, I mentioned it yesterday before the game. The centre half you're talking about, I hope you're talking about Porteous, are you? Rather than Hanlon. I know Hanlon never played, but I mean, Hibs are going to sell somebody, and they're talking about the full-back, they're talking about the striker. Yeah. I would be on the phone saying, whoever bid for Porteous, do you want to come back again?
Well, it's funny you saying that, Ruffy, because Hugh Scott's just said, Peter, a new centre-half, what about the world beater that is Ryan Porteous? Not as good as he thinks he is. I can take it in the neck for that, because he looked good. Yeah. He started to look as if he was a player. He was wrapping the ball into the midfielders and passing it out, but he just seems to have, I don't know if he's not been able to make that step up that we all hope. He's still only, I think, 22. But there's something missing, and there's a weakness in him that is constantly there. And I'll take it in the neck from Hugh Scott. I don't know if he's still got time to maybe bridge that gap.
No, I think the point I'm making is I'd rather keep the young boy as a fullback, to sacrifice somebody leaving and let him go, because I think you could find a centre half.
But you're not going to get the same money as you are.
We don't know what his bid. We don't know what that bid was.
£1 million. You think it was $1 million? No, that's it's probably what you are.
See, this week you're the prophet of doom. Every player that's had that figure. Now, let's not forget in Scotland we have, as you know, the lunatic.
So what do you want for Porteous then? You want $5 million for Porteous?
No. What I'm saying,
£1 million quid's enough.
What I'm saying to you, when Tam and I last season, when you were here, we had a constant battle with everybody going, Morelos, 20 million. No, you'll get 30. Yep. Edouard, 30 million. You were lucky you get 2 Quenchy Cups and a Kit Kat at times for them now. It's fluctuating.
It's football, isn't it?
No, that's the great.
Hey,
the joy
if you're not performing at your level,
Edouard never scored last night. What's he go for now?
No, you're still going to get 5 to 8 million for Edouard.
3 million now.
No. 5 to 8 million for Edouard. Still not going to be double figures. So the Celtic fans can come for me again tonight.
I don't mind that, because at the end of the day, listen, he's going to get punted. They're going to get him.
He needs to get punted this window.
He needs to get punted. Listen, at the end of the day, they're carrying him. He's not interested. But the Porteous argument is quite simply, as Charlie says, and I'm not knocking you for it, I'm just saying it's fun because the one thing that punters love to do is say, this guy's worth 20 and 30. We love speculating on it and the love of the game. But Charlie's right. I looked at him and I thought, okay, he looks a player, looks okay.
I've never thought he was more than any up in 3 and 4 million.
I never said 3 or 4 million, but Charlie's saying if he was valued at 1 million, he's not that value now.
No, but what I'm saying is if they've got a bid for the full-back, I don't know what that would be, they have had a bid for him, and somebody will have inquired about the centre-forward, I'd be sitting there going, well, which one do I want to ship out here, and who do I want to keep? Which one do I sacrifice to keep the other two? And I don't know what the difference are.
But it depends
in the
on
millions.
It depends. Tam knows it better than us. It's what finances Hibs are thinking. That can we afford to lose Doyle because we've got Stevenson? We can keep Porteous a little bit, and he might go. He might come back to a level that we think he can go again. You know, he's 22, and to get what reported 3-4 million quid for Doyle at 18 years of age, it's a lot of money, you know, and it's hard to turn down that.
Listen, at the end of the day, some people can turn around their fortunes. I think there are positives that he's got in his game. There's other areas where I think he needs to brush up on. Listen, we'll wait and see if they decide to sell him.
But everybody does, because at the end of the day, if he wasn't, he wouldn't be at Hibs. So he has things to learn, he has things to improve. He's a big physical centre-back, he can play, but he's got a mistake in him at times, and that's young, naive, 22-year-old centre-back. 25, 26, he'll become a better player if he keeps playing.
The more he plays, if he plays 25, 30 games a season,
he's going to make mistakes, and that's part of it. It's just, you know, how long Hibs want to keep him, or if they get the right bid, they might sell him.
Well, I have to be honest with you, I like the boy. I hope he gets a chance to improve.
But he's saying he needs a centre half.
No, but he needs another. He needs another centre half.
He needs another one.
He needs another one.
Well, who are you
No, he's talking about the cover of it all. He couldn't bring anybody on to it. McGregor's off. He couldn't bring anybody on last night to suddenly play a certain way and shore up the back line. He wants a squad where he's got options.
No, I thought he was saying they need a centre half to play.
Oh, just listen to him then.
But the thing is, you got.
No, you just
The
said
thing
you
about
need a
McGregor
centre-half.
is, McGregor's a little bit older. He's had a few injuries.
You can't cane McGregor. McGregor's done his bit.
David Gray's gone as well.
Yeah.
Had to retire. So there's two centre backs that they've lost already from last season and no replaced it. So at some point you're going to, like you say, and he's needing it, and you'll see if he can get it in. But it's going to be tough to get them in.
Yep, I must admit, gutted for that. I knew when I left Easter Road last week, I thought, game's a bogey, they've gone.
We spoke to each other after the game, and Hibs should have won 3 or 4-1.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, and come back and hunt them last night.
Yep, absolutely. Well, listen, if right now everybody up in Aberdeen, they're just buying tickets for the lottery and everything. It's just world domination. I love it at the moment now because I just get the feeling, you know, that, I mean, okay, it's Breidablik, right? I mean, I don't want to be negative about it. Aberdeen had a job to do, and they done it. And the boy, I don't know about you, I've mentioned I love watching him. The boy Hedges. He's just, you know, the second goal was just quality.
Yeah, well, they've already got a bid for, is it $500,000 for him? I think they've been hauling him into a room somewhere and forcing him to sign an extended contract because he is certainly at this moment in time the player that's making them tick. And we saw a bit of it last year, but he's moved on a wee bit this time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
I think that the thing with Hedges is also he looks as if he's lost a wee bit of weight. Hedges, he looks trim.
Yeah. Oh, he looks at business. Yeah. Jiggy's fat.
Oh, he's not got the joke, is he?
No, I missed it. I wasn't even concentrating. I was too busy looking at the next point. What was it?
Trim the hedges.
Right, okay. Oh. God on me. Yeah, I know. It's the first time.
It's been a long week, Peter.
And by the way,
been 2 games this
it's
week.
very rare you get a what I call a wheel tappers and shunters gag from him. Anyway, apart from anything, yours is usually all scripted. Anyway, apart from anything else, I like him. I think he's got a great left peg on him, but whether he can, he can hold on to him, who knows?
It's definitely a cut above the rest.
Oh, absolutely. There you are.
You got one?
No. Don't take a leaf out of his book. Anyway, apart from anything else, Stephen Glass has actually been very, very complimentary about the job that they had to do, and they got it done.
We should have scored in the first half, but what I would say is the players' character shone through. I think any time we've changed shape on them, asked them to do something slightly different, they've been excellent. And I think they kept at it second half as well. It would have been easy to think this is not our night. It would have been easy to let a good footballing team score a couple of goals against us, and we're sitting here saying were unfortunate to go out. But I think the response for the players was brilliant. If we took half our chances, I think it's probably 5-1, 6-1.
Yeah, good win for Aberdeen. Just a bit worried because obviously I don't think Stephen Glass is aware, Ruffy, that Lee Harvey Oswald is no longer alive and there's no chance of anybody taking a shot at him from the book depository. I mean, why is he behind glass? What's that all about?
Waitrose there, then he's taking the shop.
It's unbelievable.
Check out.
I mean, my apologies for the for the glass in front of him. I mean, they're ripping the back end out of it, Ruffy, for God's sake.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. We'll have to be
Charlie,
up there.
is it Waitrose? It just shows you. No, yeah. No Asda or Morrison's or all that. Tesco.
None of your Lidl or Alza. Brilliant. But anyway, apart from anything else.
By the way, briefcase not been dropped off this week yet.
Yeah, no, don't worry, it's coming for you. Nazy's coming back soon. It was good for Aberdeen. I still maintain, and I don't know if you agree with this, Tam, I still maintain that the driving force for them, and he alluded to it last night, is Brown.
Yeah, listen, I said that when Brown left Celtic that I thought he still had a couple of years in him.
Yeah.
And he's been written off for 4 or 5 years. I think when Brendan Rodgers came in, I think he was written off. It's finished, and he just keeps going and going, and he's still in good shape. You know, he's fit. He can get about the pitch. I think he was dragged down with the rest of the Celtic players last season. They were terrible. The whole team, the whole club had a bad season. And I think as a captain, he was starting to get a lot of abuse off the supporters. So I feel as if he's went up to Aberdeen, fresh start for him. Knows Stephen Glass very, very well. And I really think he'll have a big part to play in that team next year.
Yeah, I think Graham Hay, who sent us a message, has got it 100% spot on. Waitrose, Charlie, you've changed. And I think that's, Graham, if you remember Charlie from the early years, that's gone. The Charlie Adam down to earth is gone. It's gone. Anyway, apart from anything else, we're going to be talking about Rangers against Dunfermline coming up. We'll also be talking about all the other cup matches. But right now it's time to join a man who's decided to buy himself a flat, which has got 3 levels on it, and it's great that we're able to join him now just in front of his new house. Gabriel Antoniazzi is there, looking forward to what we think will be an absolute rip-snorter of a cup match, Celtic against Hearts, Gabs. But you were also there at St Johnstone last night, just didn't have enough quality in the end, Gabriel.
No, it was a fantastic performance from St Johnstone across the 2 legs. You know, 3 quarters into the game, they were still tied with Galatasaray, which Callum Davidson, after the full-time whistle, said he would have snapped your hand off if you'd offer him when the draw was made. But he said, yeah, their heads will be held high and they can learn from it going forwards. I've just got to say, I'm not sure how much you boys have talked about it, but Ali McCann was absolutely fantastic. Head and shoulders above everyone else in blue on the park. He looked like he could have walked into that Galatasaray side. And they've often joked about how much they'd like for him, 40 million, but we do know that they want a club record, which would be around £1.75 million. And I have no idea how clubs in Scotland and down south haven't gone for him, because for me, he's above the people that are at the same level as him, like Lewis Ferguson. I think Ali McCann is further ahead than him. And when I look at David Turnbull, obviously McCann plays slightly deeper, but he is absolutely fantastic. I know that Charlie was a fan. We spoke about him earlier. So McCann, I'd be surprised if he is still in Perth come the end of the transfer window. But yeah, a fantastic game at McDermott Park. Sellout, as we said, it was because they gave those fans free tickets, and it was just a great night in general, despite the 4-2 loss. Fantastic. Yeah,
Gabriel there, and we'll decide how much he's worth, Gabriel, because Charlie's the man who sets transfer fees, let me tell you, raving about Ali McCann. He reckons he's better than Ferguson.
Yes.
He's on a par with Turnbull. He's worth 1.75 million.
20 million.
What?
20 million. Only because my agent looks after him. So we're all going to get a cut of that.
Yeah, right.
20 million.
Yeah. Do you like him?
I like him. Very good player. I think he's different. He's different from Turnbull. He's not going to be the one that's going, you know, defence splitting passes and that. But I think he's a very good player, and you know, I think he'll be the one to take the position of Steve Davis in the Northern Ireland team when he retires. Good footballer, you know, aggressive, can get after people, and he was magnificent over 2 legs. And Callum will be, well, the board and St Johnstone will be, you know, be waiting for a few offers to come in this couple of weeks for him, because he's done really well and he is a top player. Yep.
Gabs, I was having a chat with Ange Postecoglou about Celtic facing Hearts in the cup at the weekend. He said, you know, it's going to be a different Celtic, a Celtic side that's changed from when they first met Hearts. What's the feeling through there at Tynecastle and Robbie Neilson in the camp?
Well, yeah, there's no doubt Celtic have improved since their meeting 2 weeks ago. They've won all 3 matches since that game. But Hearts, 6 out of 6 to start the season, 4 of them in this competition. And then, of course, beating Celtic on the opening day and then beating St Mirren away from home, which is no mean feat either. So they are very confident. They're going in the tie to win. When I was speaking to Robbie Neilson a couple of hours ago, he said that their eyes are on victory, but he doesn't think that Celtic are too much different from when they last played. The only difference is that the game is in Glasgow and not Edinburgh.
Whenever you go from a home game to an away game, and especially going to Celtic Park, it's a total different atmosphere. Pitch is big, it's open, they've got 50, 60,000 behind them, so we know it's going to be a different game. The actual team hasn't changed a lot. You're probably looking at Rodgers come into the squad, Kyogo's come in as well, so the 2 players. So other than that, it's much the same as the team that we played, but at a different venue.
Yeah, this is going to be a real test. Gabs, we're not going to keep you much longer. Is the front area there, is that your living room or is that the kitchen? And do you enter the living room from the back of the house there?
No, this is just my Edinburgh apartment. I prefer the one that I had down in Kensington for the European Championships. But you're yet to see the Glasgow one. That's 4-story. I'm up with Charlie in the West End, shopping at Waitrose.
yeah, sure you are, Gabs. Of course, the expenses come in, Ruffy, for that Kensington apartment he had for the Euros, and he's lording it up there as well. And of course, clearly you can tell by his jumper that he's not planning to go out in Edinburgh tonight.
No, as we all know, he's really right behind Aberdeen this year. And most of the stuff he wears is red.
Yeah, so after Ruffy took pelters for his golf jersey yesterday.
For yesterday?
Absolute pelters. A navy blue jersey with green, white and gold down the sides, by the way. I mean, honestly, Charlie, if you want to get it. But Gabriel, you'll be out at a game this weekend for us and covering it and getting reaction from the managers?
Yep, I'll be at Hibernian against Kilmarnock on Sunday. I think Tam might be there as well. Really looking forward to that one, seeing how Hibs can bounce back from the defeat in the Conference League. And also good to see Kilmarnock for the first time. Obviously, they've been relegated, but there's positive vibes down there. They're going for the Championship title. How will they fare against Premiership opposition? We'll find out. 2 o'clock kickoff.
Yep, looking forward to it. He's going to Hibs game, and of course the great thing about Tam, if he's working for another organisation, he doesn't really talk with any of the other people in the press area. Just kind of distances himself. He's all encamped in the Hibs crew. That's him. So it's not good, is it?
Not even offer you a cup of tea or that?
Not a chance. Easter Road, you don't even get it in the Alan Rough suite. So
just get bevy in mind.
That's reason enough for us to get through, Ruffy, to be honest with you. Charlie, it's Rangers Dunfermline tonight, and what a chance, really, for Steven Gerrard just to say, listen, it's not been good enough. Just get out there and do the business.
Yeah, it's good. Be good for Dunfermline will be disappointed that Ruffy was there last week. The result against Partick Thistle, and they'll be looking to try and make a cup upset. But Rangers will go strong tonight, and they'll try and win the game as early as they can and get into the next round. Listen, it's their first game in this competition. They win, they go into quarter-finals. What an opportunity for them. So, no, I'd expect Rangers to be in control tonight.
Yeah, this is what Steven Gerrard had to say, not to the press because he doesn't speak to them, but this is what he had to say regarding this game. It's about trying to get back in a good place as quick as you can. The match is really important to us, and I'm going to pick a strong squad. It's my job to lead in these situations and flip the mood as quick as we can. You have to use the feeling to react and put in a performance. We made it abundantly clear to the squad that domestic cups are important, and we want to go all the way in both. I felt like Ron Burgundy there. There's nothing like a hyphen. There's nothing like a hyphen in do and domestic. But that's what he said. Domestic cups. He's got to try it. I think they've got to try and win a cup, Ruffy, because Rangers have one title in his 3 seasons. He wants silverware elsewhere as well as the league.
Yeah, and the fans want it as well. All the big fans love to go to cup finals at the end of the season. It doesn't matter, what you're playing in. You want to win it. You're in it to win it. I think we might get an idea tonight with the team selection I've watched players he's not particularly happy with, and him just saying to them, hey, if you don't get your finger out, this is who'll be taking your place. So I think this is a game the night when he can afford to do that. As Charlie said, we played them last week. If that boy Mehmet's playing the night,
The goalkeeper,
I'd be surprised.
Dunfermline.
He just lost it completely in the whole game. So I would.
If he's playing, what's your bet?
Even though he's not playing, if Fon Williams is playing, I still think it'll be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
They were really poor last week. Poor. Everyone went through Dordan's, but it just didn't happen. They weren't into his wavelength. And no, I just thought we were. If it's not 4 or 5, then we're a right good side.
So I'm going 4 or 5 Rangers then. Although, Ruffy, it'll be good to see Granty back at Ibrox in the dugout.
Yeah.
He'll get a warm welcome.
Yeah, he certainly will. You know, and he'll be out there at the front. He'll be out.
Waving.
Yes, be waving and pointing and waving. Pointer, that's what his nickname is. Pointer.
Yeah, the pointer. Yeah.
Right,
He
yeah,
will love that. I mean, do you want to tell you something? If you think of people who love it in the 21st century, getting pelters, Granty was your 1980s king of it. He absolutely revelled in it, Charlie.
That's what you've got to do. You've got to take the stick in that. But yeah, we played against his Alloa team last season, and he never shut up the full game. So I told him a couple of times, just need to be quiet. Like, there's no crowd there, and he's shouting like a lunatic at times, you know. But he had Alloa playing well, and let's say that result against Partick will be a big disappointment. But what a great game for Dunfermline to have in the cup away at Rangers on a Friday night, and you know they'll be hoping that the Rangers have an off day.
Yep, I don't think the Rangers fans will tolerate any more off days, especially as you get at the start of the season. You want to try and hit the ground running. Give us your thoughts on the prediction. Well, is anybody predicting any kind of upset? Tam, no.
No. Sadly not.
Charlie, no. Okay. Rangers against Dunfermline. I'll move on to the fixtures in the Premier Cup, and here is what we have on offer over the weekend. Of course, you can see Rangers Dunfermline, Ayr United against Dundee United, Dundee Motherwell, Livingston St Mirren, and then on the Sunday it's Wraith Rovers Aberdeen, Arbroath against St Johnstone, Hibs Kilmarnock, which Tam has mentioned, they'll be there, and Celtic against Hearts. Dundee Motherwell is going to be a tasty game. Dare I say it, is it one of those games now where you're into a run where there are teams where you really have to start getting a few results to build the confidence?
Well, listen, it's an opportunity for us to get into the quarterfinals of the cup. It's been a while since we've been in a major cup final, so if we can win tomorrow, it get us into the quarterfinals, and hopefully the draw is good. But we play Motherwell in a couple of weeks in the league, so we'll be able to see what each other are like. And no, we're at home, so you know, we get a decent crowd as well, so we'll be looking to put a bit of pressure on Motherwell, and hopefully we get a good result. Yeah,
would that be right in thinking you might not be able to remember this, Charlie, because I think you were playing down south. Dundee's last cup final would be against Rangers.
1-0
Amoruso.
Amoruso,
yeah. That's the last time. It's quite a long time.
Jim Duffy was the manager. I
just been released.
I'd signed just a couple of years after that.
I was there. Barry Smith hit the post with a shot. And then Amoruso went up the pitch, scored. That was the last game for Rangers. I remember it.
Was Keys Nashvili playing?
Yes.
In that game, I seem to remember that as well. Yeah. So yep, that's a long time since Dundee. In fact, before that, I think it might have been '95, the League Cup final against Aberdeen. They lost.
Hampden.
Yep. And then your last League Cup win was on a night, Charlie, which I'm not sure you were born, but there was minor strike. It was a 3-day working week. They used to have to turn the electricity off.
No, I wasn't. No, I was in the house that night.
Yeah, there was an early kick-off, Ruffy, and one of the finest goal scorers in the Premier League. If you're talking about the top 10 Premier League goal scorers, the guy who scored it, who I think is a lovely man, scored for Dundee to defeat Celtic at Hampden, 1-0.
Gordon Wallace.
Quite a long, yeah.
Gordon Wallace.
Stubby. Is he still involved with Dundee? Stubby?
Nah, he's in a few health issues at the
moment.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He's a great man.
Yeah.
Great guy. Great man. Scored at Daisy Cutter on a soaking wet day on an early kick-off because obviously Britain was in the grip of madness.
I think that was just the year before we won it, the next year.
It was 2 years after it.
And you were what age? 25 at that time?
1973, Ruffy.
71 for us.
Yeah. I know that. It's 50 years. It's a big celebration. Everybody's getting together.
I've seen that. Must be in
there. There's going to be a...
After dinner speak as
well. I spotted coming up on my feed, by the way, would you believe, they've got the 50-year book out I mean, the
and
social...
replica medals.
And a taxi. I seen a taxi the other day.
Have you got me a
That's so
replica?
Taxi as well,
Have
yeah.
you got me a replica medal?
Yeah, I don't know much there yet, but once I find out much there, I'll sell you one.
I'll let you know.
I'll sell you one.
What you want about? I'll hang on and buy yours at Christie's because you're bound to sell it at some point. Anyway, Dundee Motherwell. I think this was going to be tough to call. Graham Alexander. Certainly not looking at what happened to Dundee against Celtic last week.
Yeah, but they came up for a reason because they're a good team and they've got good players and they won a lot of games last season. You know, beat a Premiership team to get into the Premiership. So you know, that sort of result last week can happen when you're playing a team of the quality of Celtic. But you know, I think always as professionals, you want to react in the best way possible to any negatives. So
yeah, he's looking for his side to step up to the plate as well. Motherwell, I'm waiting to see how they develop this season because it will be Graham Alexander's full season, his side.
I think they were unlucky last week against St Johnstone in the highlights that I've seen. I think Xander Clark had a couple of great saves and Tony Watt should have won the game late on. He scored a good goal but had missed a good chance late on. So I think Motherwell have looked pretty good in the league game so far. So, you know, but obviously Dundee coming off the back of a real hammer at Celtic Park. So it's a tough one to predict, you know. But Dundee will be looking to bounce back after, you know, a real down at Celtic. So they'll be wanting to get through, as Charlie said, into the quarter-finals and forget about that game last week.
Yep. What's your prediction?
2-1 to Motherwell.
2-1 to.
He can't even look at me as well.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love the way you do it.
2-1 Motherwell.
I'm actually going to go. I'm going to win 1-0 Dundee.
Well done, Pete.
Yeah, I'm going to go. No, I'm going to go a Dundee win. I think Motherwell get into the. I know they played well last week, but I think Motherwell fans are expecting a wee bit more than what they're getting. So I think a Dundee win will put a wee bit of pressure on them.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be two-faced about it. I tipped Livingston to get relegated this season. I'm going to stand by that decision. But I am delighted that they brought in a boy. I've got a lot of time for. I really like him. Dougie Emery is in there as a coach. Dougie's gone through all the badges. Great lad. You know, I've watched him at Hamilton as a boy, breaking into the side, playing. And, you know, good luck to Dougie. I hope he makes a career for himself.
Yeah, well, he was at Hamilton behind the scenes and he obviously enjoyed it, and then that position came up at Livingston and he jumped there. My lasting memory of the game, you've got a better memory of me when he scored a goal against somebody and he ran right up to the opposition dugout. I don't know who was in that dugout, who the manager was, but he just stood there, just stood there looking at him if he scored the winner.
I think it would be a manager that's obviously dropped Dougie along the way.
I've done that.
There are actually
It's interesting
moments.
because we said before I thought you might get the Hamilton job.
That
So
last week,
to then obviously go to Livingston, it's you know, they're obviously going a different direction at Hamilton or whatever way they're going to go.
I'm amazed they didn't go for him because Alan Maitland said that the applications for Hamilton and the job, you know, they've been, you know, coming in by the barrelload.
Yeah, I think it's I'm going to say attractive job, but it's a job that I think the guy needs to come in and needs to be playing youth. I think Hamilton have always been a club that want to play young players, and Chipper was involved in that and played the young players. But supporters, they obviously you want to see young players coming through, but you need to be successful at Hamilton. Their fans expect them to be in the Premier League. So no matter how many young guys you're blooding, you've got to be winning games as well. And I think that was
And selling.
That's the mix. You've got to sell them and then bring them through. And it's a very, very difficult job, I think.
Yeah.
Hamilton Accies job, because the supporters expect you to be winning and up at the top of the championship this year, which is hard with kids.
You know, a bit anxious we've not heard for Chipper. You know, he's not come out and not give his reasons why he'd done it, but just talking to somebody or just speaking, you know, about his decisions. I just think it all happened very quickly and quietly, and we never heard, so other people are making up their mind what happened in that. And it'd be good to hear from him, you know, why he came to that decision.
Yeah, well, I think
he will in time. I think he's a great guy, and no doubt you try and get him on the show or whatever.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You know, he's good people, and he's got his reasons. And you know, sometimes, yeah, you've got the contract and that, but if you're not happy going into your work every day and you feel something's gone, then he's just going to take time to walk away, or he may have something else lined up as well.
Yeah, and
covering 5 games this weekend.
Well, listen, that's the one thing about Chipper is that,
He probably had 5 games.
Well, I tell you one thing, the boy put in the work, by the way, and I hope he gets back into football soon. As far as St Mirren are concerned, Jim Goodwin, listen, they've got that taste of Hampden and he wants to go back there.
I think it would be very similar to Livingston. Obviously we met each other in the semi-final last year, and we would both like the opportunity to get back there. It's an extremely difficult tie. There's no doubt about that. An all Premier League tie, but the incentives are there for the players. The majority of the group were part of the team last season that got to Hampden twice, and they've had that taste for it, and they'd like to now try and go a step further.
Yeah, of the other games, news just breaking that Mark McNulty is another season-long loan at Dundee United. They're away to Ayr United.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game, but United will obviously have a bit of confidence from that result against Rangers last week, and David Hopkin will. It won't be a pretty game, but they'll have to go and fight and battle Dundee United if they want to get a result. Yeah,
there's a couple of games that we haven't had a chat about. Arbroath against St Johnstone. Great noise up. There's always the scalp that Dick loves to take along the way. And St Johnstone, well, I think they just go into it on a high. They're defending their trophy. Isn't it great to say that? They're defending their trophy.
We spoke about that. If I was Callum Davis and I'd have the 2 trophies in the bus, every ground you go into, just have the 2 of them there. But I think it's obviously a big come down, on disrespect, playing Galatasaray in Europe to go up to Arbroath. It's going to be probably about 40 mile an hour wind, so it's a tough game.
But that's the mentality. That's the difference between the top players and how they go and do it week in, week out, and it doesn't matter where they go. This, like you say, it's a big come down from the Galatasaray. Can they get over that? But also the fitness side of it and the adrenaline coming out. Can they go to Arbroath? And it might be windy, it might be horrible. So
I think it will be windy.
It'll be a tough game for them. But this Wraith Aberdeen game, I think, could be a surprise.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we played. They're talking about the wind. We played Arbroath last year, and there was about a 70-mile wind, and Arbroath decided to take the wind in the first half. Every time the ball went out of the park, there was about 7 balls all getting rolled on. When we turned round and we hit the wind, there was only 1 ball available. 1 ball. Every time it went out, it took about 10 minutes to get back.
You fancy Wraith to cause Aberdeen a problem?
Yeah, I do.
Shock?
It'll be tough. It will be a tough game, and I just think that Wraith might just edge this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do, because the Astro and how they play, and Aberdeen, Stephen might make a couple of changes. So no, I think that'll be a tough game for Aberdeen.
Okay, I'm going for an emphatic Aberdeen win in this. I am looking at the games that you would have thought, as Charlie says, no nonsense. Maybe last season it would have been edgy.
I fancy Aberdeen. I just think they're winning games now, even though they're not playing well. Yeah. Livingston last week, they were poor and they won the game. They're just in a good habit now. And I think with Bruni coming in, they're churning out wins. That's what he does. He's done it all his career. No, win games and you're not playing well. I fancy Aberdeen to go down there and maybe nick it 2-1.
Yeah, they've got a great away support on the run. See when they get a run of results, suddenly the Dons fans are on the buses. They're on their way, supporting them away from home.
Aye, the sheep will travel everywhere and follow them.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to
by the way, Dave McCormack made the brilliant, and he said, "Oh yeah, we managed to get 15,000. Why don't we try and get 18,000 for the next game? Because we're in the thingy." It's just perfect. What do you call it? Hospital spiel in it after winning the game. Promote, just get as many fans as we can. But they're riding high. They're going well, and
this is the first Friday Tom's not been on the phone to all the Aberdeen boys. Well, I've been on the phone to Glassy last night.
He's on the phone.
You've got the phone next week.
This is actually the first programme where he hasn't name dropped somebody.
Can you believe the Hammer and Aberdeen fans? He's up there tomorrow playing golf.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck with that, Tam, by the way. As soon as you start calling them the sheepies,
they're all waiting for you at Turnberry.
I don't know if you can drive back home with your 4 tyres and the car jacked up. But nevertheless, I don't fancy Wraith Rovers to cause an upset. Do you, Ruffy?
They've not set the hell on fire this year. Last year, I would have fancied them to do something.
Yeah,
but
don't give us a history lesson. Do you fancy them? Come on.
No.
Right, that's brand new.
We get a free week. When you win your first 2 league games, you get a week off.
Brilliant, Rob.
Maybe a while for Charlie get a week off.
This is unbelievable.
International break's coming up. Do you get international breaks in that championship? No.
No, you just keep playing. Absolutely. Listen, we always like to try and talk about football, not only in Scotland, but cover English football, European football. Of course, the Premier League is starting. We're going to get the guys' thoughts on who they think is going to win the English Premier League. But Jurgen Klopp said something interesting today. He's mentioned Billy Gilmour, because obviously Liverpool against Norwich. This is what the Liverpool manager had to say about our Scottish midfielder. Billy Gilmour is probably one of the biggest Scottish talents for the last 50 years. bringing him on loan, and then Milo Rashika signing from the Bundesliga. So they may well have lost Emiliano Buendia, yes, but the replacements they found now with a little Greek boy, Christos Solis, who came in last week, they're doing some good business, but great compliments there about Billy Gilmore. I don't know, it's a big call saying he's one of the Scotland's biggest talents of the last 50 years. We need to get our heads thinking here on, you know, whether he's mentioned he's up there with the likes of Dalglish, Souness and Hansen, but that's too much pressure.
No, but this is a big year for him. You know, we've all seen what he's done bit-wise with Chelsea and that wee run he got with Scotland. I think a full season we'll really get to see what the real Billy Gilmore looks like in this league and that team. You know, because they'll be up against it most of the time. So it's a massive, massive year for it. And I hope he's right, because he's going to be a big player for Scotland if he fulfills everything that people say he's going to be.
Yeah, well, I love him as a midfielder, Charlie. I'm a big fan. And I think Billy Gilmore should just be Billy Gilmore. You know, just do things the way he does. There's no point in him being compared to a Souness or a Dalglish, because they're two totally different players.
There's obviously no Charlie Adam pictures up in the training ground, is there?
No,
in the last 12 years playing there, so thanks Jurgen, but going on Billy, I said before the Euros he should have played. He obviously got his opportunity against England and missed the last game through COVID, but he's a wonderful talent, and you know, the way Daniel Farker plays will allow him to go and express himself and play, and it's a great loan move from, and to get compliment on that, he's got to take the confidence going forward, because he was man of the match against Liverpool in a cup game at the Bridge, and so Jurgen will know how good he is, so that's great. He's got to take the confidence from that.
Yeah, Hugh Scott, I think, may well sum up what we're all thinking about. He says, Peter, I think Man United might have a wee squeak this season. He says 2 good signings in the summer, but if Man City get Kane, then forget it. Well, interestingly enough, here are the Premier League fixtures in England for the weekend. Charlie knows exactly what it's all about. He's strutted his stuff down there. I wonder if people will actually tune in to Brentford Arsenal tonight to see the Brentford blueprint to get to the top flight in England. Of course, this is a big season for Mikel Arteta. He has to convince everybody he's building a side that can get European football. And then Saturday, Manchester United against Leeds. That used to be a really vitriolic game with a lot of hatred. Leicester Wolves, Chelsea Crystal Palace, Watford Aston Villa, Everton against Southampton, Burnley Brighton, Norwich City against Liverpool, as we mentioned, and then Newcastle West Ham and Tottenham against Manchester City. Now the strange thing is, I don't think we'll see a sniff of Harry Kane in a Tottenham top in this match, unless you know, suddenly there's a massive U-turn. I don't know, I've got a gut feeling that something's going to happen over the weekend, Ruffy.
No, I think there'll be a lot of discussions behind the scenes, you know, from everybody concerned and at the Spurs end, you know, and obviously don't know how that's going to go, but I'm sure Harry Kane will have something to say about it, and we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't know how that one will go.
Yeah, who's your tip for the league though?
Oh, Man City.
Yeah.
Man
Can't
City.
see anybody
Man
stopping
City,
it?
Chelsea. I think Chelsea will really press them this year.
Yeah.
More than Liverpool. I'm not into Liverpool this year at all.
Yeah. If you were picking, I mean, if my 1, 2, 3, 4 would be Man City. I agree with you. I can't see anybody stopping them. Man City, then Chelsea, then I think Liverpool, then Man United. Mm-hmm. Is that fair?
Van Dijk back.
Yes.
I missed all that. Well, that'll be a bonus for them.
Yeah, Charlie, you've been there. You played it.
I would go the same again. I think City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United.
Sam?
I think that'll be a top 4, 100%. You know, there's nobody breaking into that top 4 apart from them, but I think Man City will just edge it. I think Chelsea, I'll agree with Ruffy, I think Chelsea with Lukaku will push them very, very hard this year.
Yeah, okay. We will keep our eye on the English Premier League as well. And, dare I say it to you, keep your eye on our programme, because we're going to be giving away some very special prizes over the next few weeks. And with a bit of luck, we'll have some special guests in as well, which might attract your attention. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We'd love you to do that. Come and join the football family. Give us your opinion as well, providing, of course, you are of sane mind. And also, don't forget, you can hit the bell and get the notifications of when we are live and all our unique content on our YouTube channel, Monday to Friday, live at 4 o'clock. And the other thing that I was about to tell you about was quite simply, if you download the PLZ Soccer app, basically download the app and you've got all the breaking stories at your fingertips. And if you hit submissions, you can go in there, record a message to us. It drops straight into us as you type it. Also, you can record yourself as well. And if we use your video of your opinion of your team over the weekend on the programme next week, we'll send you out something special. So PLZ Soccer app, well worth downloading in Google Play or in the App Store as well. I think I've covered all bases. This weekend, enjoy your football, whether it's north or south of the border, or indeed you're just one of those Parisians still celebrating the fact that Messi will be wearing the number 30 shirt. Incredible. Who would have thought? Money talks in the end. Thanks to Tam for joining us here. Thanks to Ruffy. Thanks to Charlie Adam. From myself, Peter Marston. Thanks to you for watching. We'll see you on Monday, 4 o'clock on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Have a great weekend.